Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Danny Walker. Today we're going to be talking about the Binibining Pilipinas National Costume Show. Today's episode is brought to you by Rehearsed to Relatable. If you're a pageant contestant and you want to learn about how to stand out in the interview room, then check out the description below for more information. If you're brand new to my channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing and hitting the notifications bell so you know when new episodes just like this one come out. Earlier this year, I did an episode on these national costumes, but my favorites were based off of the images that were released of these. And then now that they actually posted a video national costume show on the official YouTube for Binibining Pilipinas, I was starting to get so many requests for this episode. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna look at these costumes. I don't know if my favorites are going to change, and they did. They did. Some are still my favorites, but some now I have a greater appreciation for because of the video footage of them. It was incredibly difficult to narrow these down, and I would highly encourage you to actually go check out this show for yourself. I'm gonna link it in the description below because these costumes are incredible, as well as the meaning behind them. I'm gonna share about these in no particular order, and I would also love to know what your favorites are. So as you're watching this, let me know which national costumes were your favorite. Contestant number 19, oh my gosh. First of all, let's just talk about how stunning she is, right? Just facially so gorgeous. I think she's one of the most beautiful contestants. And I love this national costume. It reminds me, and I talked about this before in a previous episode, it reminds me of Miss Thailand's national costume. And I thought it was so cute and really inventive and really creative, but I love this one. And I also really like how they showcased her legs in this national costume and the way that they presented it. And it's just, you look at her and it's like, oh my gosh, legs for days. I thought it was really creative how they put the fringe on her legs. And I just think it's just so beautiful. Contestant number 11 really impressed me. When I initially saw this image, I was not able to appreciate all of the colors in this national costume or the gorgeous tiers of liquid beading. So when I saw this on film, I immediately had it in my favorites because I think it was so beautiful. It looked like a couture piece. And I feel like if you take away the headpiece and some of the accessories, that this gown is very wearable. This costume is based off of the Sirimanak mythical bird, excuse my pronunciation. And then the national costume itself, I'm trying to learn how to say this word, and I know some of you have been trying to help me and I appreciate that, is Filipiniana. That's a traditional piece of clothing for Filipinas, and there's a lot of history behind them, and this was a really beautiful take on it. And I just really loved that they incorporated different colors of the Philippines flag, and also that it was done in a very couture way. So it had meaning, but it was also really beautiful. Contestant number 22 really got me with the structure of this national costume. I looked at it and I'm trying to figure out how in the world they gave this national costume its shape, because I feel like that would have been no easy feat. But also, if you look at the skirt, it's woven. I'm not sure of all the materials of this national costume, but originally I thought the skirt was made out of a fabric, but it's actually woven like a basket in a way. I'm very impressed that they were able to give this piece this type of structure because of the materials that they were using. It just does not look like the easiest thing to work with. And I love that all of it has meaning. It's just incredible. I would love to see this on an international stage. Contestant number 12 is someone that I actually had in my previous video as one of my favorite national costumes, and it's still one of my favorites. What was really creative about how she presented this is that she was in the water, and she talked about the meaning behind this mythical goldfish. So there's a legend that the province, the area that she's from, is carried by a giant goldfish. So it was really neat, and I just thought it was so fun and it was so inventive. It reminds me a bit now of Miss Indonesia's national costume at Miss Universe this past year because of the way that they created the fish scales, like how they created really unique scales for the Komodo dragon for Miss Indonesia. So I have a great appreciation for it, and I just love the creativity. Contestant number 17, who's a really big favorite of mine, Hannah. She's a returning contestant and she's grown so much. And we saw a few national costumes this year that had a lot of florals incorporated into them, and they were beautiful in their own right. But I think what really stood out for me for this one is the way that she presented it in the video, and that it still showed off her beauty as well as the beauty of the national costume itself. I felt like the costume added to her and didn't take away from her beauty. I loved the colors though, and the construction of this piece. It was just so stunning. She looked like she could be the star in a parade. I could just imagine her in some sort of parade or festival and her being the center of the show. And it was just really, really beautiful. I loved it. It's stunning and super feminine, which I'm a fan of. Be sure to give this episode a thumbs up if you love seeing these national costumes. Contestant number 14. So this is stunning, and what really captured my attention about this national costume, not immediately in the initial photos, because in the initial photos, the still shot that they created of this I thought was really beautiful, and the colors were lovely and they complemented each other so well, as well as the traditional fabrics. Of course, there's a crown. You're gonna win points with me if there's a crown, okay? I'm all about it. But beyond that, what I noticed was if you zoom into this, and they did a really good job of showing this in the video, when you zoom into the details of this national costume, the traditional fabric has little rhinestones on each one of the details, and I was like, oh my gosh, that type of rhinestone work is so tedious and it takes forever. And it's something that I couldn't appreciate about this national costume in the photo. But when I saw a video of it, it really won me over. I could not stop thinking about how they stoned this national costume. Here is another contestant whose photo I don't think did this national costume justice. So the color is a lot more vibrant when it's not shot on this darker background. So that was one of the first things that I noticed. It is gorgeous. And if you look at the skirt, this skirt is made out of vertical pieces of fabric that are layered next to each other. This is a very couture element of this national costume. And we did see this for another national costume this year. But I loved this shot that they featured of her when she was walking up the stairs, and you can see the beauty of the cape that was behind it. I was so impressed by that. It reminded me of something you would see at the Met Gala. And I believe that a lot of the pieces that celebrities wear at the Met Gala are works of art. As I view this piece, it was just so stunning, and I wouldn't have noticed it just by the photo. But when I saw the video, it took it to the next level. Contestant number 23, oh my gosh. So I loved this costume. It's very eye-catching to me. It's not the biggest costume, and that was something that was interesting when I looked at it, because I felt like because of the fire and the flames behind her, they could have gone a lot bigger, and for some reason chose not to. But regardless of that, it was incredible. The details on this, you can't really see that in a still image, but in the videography, wow. Wow, you can really appreciate the craftsmanship that went into this. Contestant number 21. So I did not love this image of this national costume. I feel like it really didn't do it justice. And then, oh my gosh, when I saw it on camera, when we heard about the meaning behind it and this connection to the water, it's essentially this beautiful ocean-themed national costume or water-themed national costume. And when she unveiled it in this clip, wow, which obviously you can't see that in a still image. We can't see the movement of the national costume, and I loved it. And I love that she does have a good amount of movement, and that she was able to show this with that piece that's around her, and then also without it, and the footage that they got of her in the water. Wow, this whole video was just really, really well put together. Number 33 really captivated me when I saw it on film, and here's another example of a national costume that I just could not appreciate by looking at a still image of it. But when I saw the video footage, I remember I took a note and I just said that headpiece was incredible, and I felt like it added to her. It was just such a beautiful display. And then the other thing that really got me was the beading and the rhinestones on this sequence sort of black fabric. And when you actually get to see it on video, you can see that it's just this beautiful combination of colors, and there's so much vibrancy to it. And I couldn't see that in this still image. And I absolutely loved the details of this piece, and I thought that she really looked absolutely breathtaking in it. Those are my top 10 national costumes this year. Honestly, I have a few more that I would have included if I would have done an episode on a top 15 or a top 20, but these are absolutely incredible. Bravo, well done to all of the teams that it took to create, to conceptualize these national costumes. Y'all did such a phenomenal job. I am so blown away. These are amazing, and I loved getting to see the video footage of them in addition to the stills, and that's why I really thought, I said, gosh, I know I did an episode like this before, but I have to do this updated episode to show you guys the clips of these because they are outstanding. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you have any other video requests, leave those in the description below. I love reading about your suggestions, and I take it into consideration whenever I create new episodes. I appreciate you watching this one, and I hope to see you at the next one.